Hello everyone, back to another video. Here is my car, and after some discussion in the forums you have convinced me to take on my first project with the 911. Here you can see these matte black plastic parts which are not yet in high gloss, and I've decided to take this project on and basically paint them. Of course, I have to take them out first, all of them, the middle one and the two sides. Firstly, remove the front bumper and then see how difficult or easy it is to actually take off these parts. I start with the front and then go to the rear. But before we get started, I thought I put the car up on 4 stands. This will make it easier for me to actually work on the car, and so that was the first step I took before actually starting to remove the front bumper. First, I thought there are enough videos on YouTube where you can see how to remove the front. However, there are some differences in the 991.2 model, and that's I want to show you. First of all, as you can see, I've already started to remove pieces and the lights are actually staying in. Porsche has changed the design of how the front comes off, apparently to the fact that the lights have been stolen quite often, so the lights are staying in. It is best to actually start on the right or on the left on this side to get access to this slot here. But be aware that don't just pull off the plastic cover because otherwise you'll break them with this pin. So you have to start on the upper side. So you start up here, push it to the side, the plastic, push it to the side, push it to the side. Then here is another one where you can actually, where you lift it up. Once you've removed those, the whole plastic cover slides to the top and you can remove the plastic cover very easily. The same you do on the other side. Then you continue like you would do on a 991.1. You go to the front, and the front cover here then also lifts after you have removed the left and the right. This one comes off. Just simply push it up. I've actually taken out the rubber here, which is not needed, to be honest with you, so forget about it. You can actually lift the covers up like this, and once you've removed them all, you get access to this side where you can find this slider, which is the same model than it is on the 9911. However, the position is slightly different, so it's more to the front, and it comes off the same way. You just pull it. Mine was relatively simple to remove, so there was no problem. And you get this on this side as well as you have it on the other side. Same position, take them out and put them to the side. Well, what else is different? As the lights are not coming off, you have to get access to the wheel houses, and that's why it's a good idea to put these on the stand, so you have a little bit more room when you work inside your wheelhouse, and it's just easier to actually get access to all the screws. So you take them off inside the wheelhouse, you go underneath, you take them out from underneath the car as well. Then you go to the top, take them two out too. Don't forget the one which is very far deep inside, and you push it a little bit to the side so you get access in here. And there you can see, if it gets more sharp, the two connectors. Here they are, the two connectors which you need to disconnect in order to remove the front bumper. On the left hand side you also have the washers like on the 991.1, which is this one here. It's quite easy to remove, and once you've removed it, you can actually turn it, twist it, and put it together with a cable tie to avoid liquid or more liquid to come out. So I show you, it's hooked inside. Oh, come on, go over the side. It's hooked inside here, and you just push it backwards and then down, and there you have to remove a little clump, and off you go. Take it aside, be careful of the liquid, and are set. Now, as this is a turbo or turbo S, it has an active wing at the front, so you need to go underneath the car, disconnect this plastic, and it's just screwed on with a few screws, simple. You push it back in order to take it down just after you remove the screws. It's actually stays on, which is easy. And there you can find these two wires. They're actually not wires because it's air connectors. So you remove the two. You can simply take a screwdriver, a flat one, push it inside here where my fingernail is, gently around it, push it to the back, and then pull off the cable. Be sure to look at the connector closely because there's an arrow to it which tells you the position which you can actually remove, because you can't take it off on both sides. Then while you're at it, you also disconnect the other screws on the side, which is then again the same like on the 9911 standard model, and do that on the other side as well. Quick look again on the right hand side. As I've turned the wheel, you can see inside the wheelhouse there is this screw which is far in the inside here. For me this was a bit awkward because initially I forgot it and it didn't want to move. So be sure on both sides to actually take off the screw in here, otherwise you cannot move these wheelhouse covers. And again, you can now see here these two connectors, same thing as on the left hand side, which you have to remove in order to continue. And it's off. Once you've disconnected everything, you simply slide it to the front. Make sure you do this in parallel on the left and on the right side, otherwise you get stuck. So I put it aside here on this side, and for me the surprising thing was that the front was actually heavier than I thought. I thought it's quite light, but it's has quite some weight on it. And oh my god, here the real mess starts to taking off all these bits. Oh my god, I thought it's just some grill, but it's multiple items. Progressed quite a bit, so one side is out completely, but I want to show you something which took me a bit to figure out, because there are so many connectors to it, and especially these nasty little buggers. They didn't want to come off, so I've used a clamp, two clamps actually, to open them up. So hold it on one side or like this, and take another clamp on the other side and push it open. Let me show you them in a bit more detail. So here, 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 you can see these nasty little buggers, and I show you here how I took them out. As again, the two clamps, up and down, pull outside to lift them off the plastic cover, a little bit up and down, and here it comes. Let's do one more. Here, connect one side with the clamp, the other side with the clamp, push out both sides, and then flip, and they come off. Continue in the middle, which is actually the simplest one to get out, and then the other one here for me on the left hand side, which again you have to remove all these bits, including the cables and the connectors, the washers. Everything has to come off before you get access to these special clamps and some others, and start step by step to remove this cover. So those are some bits you get off. This is a PDC. This is the middle connector. Here's the middle part, and here's the LED daylight, including the washer. And finally, this is what it looks like when you have it off. Now I've removed all the front pieces. Here are the two plastic pieces from the left and the right hand side. The middle one was the easier one, so this can now be painted. But before we do that, we have to go to the back and remove as well the air outlets. Here the left hand side, and of course the right hand side. And as you know, in some other videos, how to remove the back. I'm only showing you the differences here, how to do that with a Turbo or Turbo S with a wing connected to it. Well, you open up the engine cover and then remove the plastic covers, remove the vents. You actually just pull them up. It's also quite simple. Then before you continue with the screws, make sure that you have the arrow in the upright position, otherwise you have no room to lift up the bottom of the arrow in order to get access to the screws. Once you've done that, you have only 2 screws to be removed, here and here. After that, you push the lower part of the arrow to the front. You just give it a little touch on both sides, ideally in parallel. Check like this, and once you've done that, you can see that the wing has moved slightly. Lift this connector out of its socket, gives you a bit more leg room, and then you can lift it to the top, which then looks like this when you lifted it up. And you have access now to these screws from right to left in order to remove the rear bumper, and you also have access now to the screws for the lights, these 2 black ones, which come off like on any 911. So there isn't any difference anymore, so I'm actually stopping it from this view. The rear is off, and I now can start removing these plastic bits on either side. One is here, this one here, and the other one on the other side, which is this one. And it looks to me that this looks a bit easier than the front, but I have to check that in a second. So it is easier, however, it's again consisting of a few parts, and the best is if you start on the top right side, and here you've got the cover, a pin like this. I've got the pin which you can lift up like this. The next one this side, but before you actually remove it, you have to open up these fins in between, because they are also consisting of 2 parts, and the outer part has to stay in when you remove the inside, because it's going against the paint from the outside. You release it here on the left hand side, and you can see this little thing. You use a screwdriver and help it outside. Leave it in, don't take it out just yet, because it's easier once you've removed the inside cover to take out the remaining bits which is still connected on the right hand side. Open them up and down. It's just simple, just push them a little, and now remove the inner part. And after you've done that, gently remove the remaining 2 fins from the outside, which are connected here and here. So all done now. Here we've got all the parts, the 3 pieces from the front and the 2 from the rear. Of course, all multiple pieces, not just a single one, which is now going to Eric, a friend of mine, who is doing the paint job, and I'll be very interesting to see how he gets on with it, and also see what the final result are. So this video got a little longer than I actually anticipated. This is part 1. I will be doing the next one by doing the paint job and then picking up all the pieces and putting things back together again. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and see what the next project will be like.